We're back with game 4, and we're quickly seeing how long I can last. It's certainly mentally fatiguing to be playing a ton of league games back to back. There's definitely been like league binge sessions of 10 plus games at some points. Like I'm washed up, man. I'm old. Like I can't take this. I'm not even playing these games, but I'm just sitting here shouting at it, and it's draining. It's genuinely very exhausting. It's an ordeal for sure, and we'll see how long I can match their pace. Yes, this is going to be volume 4 of the placement journey in season 11. I already regret deciding to do this. Like, oh, Cannon, what are you doing? Cannon, oh, pokes her head into the Seraphine. Beat drop hits. No, not beat drop, high note. We just went over this last game. High note hits. Cannon scurries back to mid lane and starts recalling.
Minions have spawned.
Very standard game so far, right? Actually, it's there's a lot of AP here. That's Ash Comet. Ash was tier starting Comet, so that's Mandate Ash. That's a lot of magical damage coming out of this team. Now, granted, MR items in Season 11 suck. And granted, the red team doesn't really have an MR-based tank. But it seems like a lot still. Anivia top, definitely more uncommon. So is Cannon, I will say. Cannon top is not an alien concept, but Cannon as a pick is something that I haven't really seen in Season 11 so far. I've seen it maybe used once or twice in the preseason to decent effect. Although, in terms of things I face on a normal basis, Cannon is definitely very, very low on the list. Anivia is basically unheard of in top lane. But here we are, blue team's drafted themselves a very magic damage based comp, including the Ashe too. Ashe will also be splashing in a little bit of AP with the Mandate build, and not to mention the Mandate proc damage is all magical. So it's up to red team to see if they can survive the sustained damage. Liandry's is amazing into just about everyone. So in prolonged teamfights against a team like blue team, it's probably impossible to win it. However, red team has the wildcard to break apart a team comp in the form of Lysandra. With one kill onto anybody in blue team, this is a very squishy composition, a very prolonged teamfight heavy composition, very susceptible to dives once you control the Kha'Zix. Lysandra is the wildcard. She can start the chain reaction that can just topple blue team like dominoes. So it's definitely a pick that I'm very interested to continue to see as this game develops. She's laning against Victor and mid. A pretty even matchup, all things considered. Although if Victor gets going, it can be very rough for Lysandra. However, Lysandra in lane does have... She actually has a few windows where she can kill the Victor. It's worth noting. So it's pretty even, all things considered, honestly. I can't really think of either having a significant advantage over the other. I've personally played this matchup as a Lysandra, although I haven't played it nearly enough to consider myself well versed at it. So definitely my judgments on their matchup situation is unfounded at best, misguided at worst. Rek'Sai is going to flash over the wall. She really wants this bug dead. But unfortunately, Kha'Zix ain't going to be killed by the likes of that. The wall might be enough to stop her, but here comes the Victor for the rotation. Rek'Sai will still take one down. Kha'Zix oversteps a little bit. Lysandra goes back for some items and TPs onto a ward, but she is a little bit too late to the scene to make anything impactful happen. They retreat through the river. Cannon finds his way back up. Cutting off Victor from the lane, actually. Neither mid laners made their way back home yet. Victor takes a trade. He's low on mana. He should recall. Although Lysandra, And I can't believe I'm saying this, but without Lissandra's old passive, she has pretty severe mana problems in lane before you get Lost Chapter. There's a pretty solid chunk of her early game where she has to be very economical with her spells. They all cost a ton, especially the one spell you're supposed to spam to help you farm. It costs like 70 mana a pop and it's unsustainable. In the long run, Leona gets stunned up, the Ignite is there. Double flash forward, Seraphine goes for the kill. The high note dunks all over Leona's head. Seraphine picks up the first kill of bot lane. And doing what Seraphine does best, completely starving the ADC of all kills. Once again, Seraphine trying to declare herself as the carry. Third time, 3 for 3. Seraphine takes all the kills down bot. All the kills so far. There's only been one, but it's a sample size of 100%. Sandra does need to get Lost Chapter very quick. The ideal laning phase here for Leona is to farm until you can get Lost Chapter and then just back, insta-buy it, and TP back and continue farming. Realistically, it never works out like that. It's rough. It's a very rough time for Lissandra. She's going to open tier. That's a very interesting Lissandra build. I don't think I've seen many in Lissandra's go tier. It's definitely Archangels is definitely also not something that I'm expecting. Muramada is something that I'm definitely not expecting. I will go as far as to say that's trolling. But Tear of the Goddess is not necessarily something I see as a Lissandra item. Her mana problems are severe in the early game, but as soon as you pick up Lost Chapter, you can start spamming more or less. The mana isn't necessarily a concern, and it eats up an item slot. There's two variants you want to build Lissandra. There's either the route with Liandry's, Demonic, Rylai's, or you just go Luden's Zarya's Burst. Neither really involves Archangel Staff, because stacking it is just a huge detour that you don't want to be taking. But meanwhile, Lissandra makes the pickoff happen here. Rek'Sai supplies it with the CC. They lock up the Victor and kill him off. I'm just so shocked that she bought tier over getting closer to Lost Chapter. Like, if that tier wasn't bought, she would have Lost Chapter right now. That's something to think about. I question if that was a good or bad decision. And then Nivea gonna be locked up. The egg is getting scrambled, but she will be fine. She gets a second chance of life, flashes away, pops a Glacial Storm, but the stun is there. Cannon is chaining her down very well. And this is a very bitter walk back to her tower. She's not gonna survive that. Cannon picks up the solo kill, the barcode account. Gets Nivea's flash as well as her life. A very long and bitter fight over which Nivea lost a lot. Not just in terms of passives and summoners, but also in terms of income and experience. The high note is there. Kai'Sa gets popped very low, but Seraphine is going to be next on the chopping block. Rek'Sai tunnels over, makes quick work of the Songstress, and Ashe is next on the chopping block. Cassian Rain drops over and secures the kill. Ashe falls to the ground. It's a 2 for nothing. Kha'Zix jumps in to make a counter kill happen, but it's very low health bars on red team, yet no one will die today. The red teams made themselves out. Lissandra goes for a completely unexpected build from my end as well. Instead of the Lost Chapter route, she is going Alternator Blasting Wand. Rocket Belt? I've personally now tried this variant. Wow, that's a very risky Rek'Sai, but she didn't get punished for it. Secures the first Dragon. Rocket Belt Lissandra. It existed back in, well, before the whole item rework. Protobal Lissandra was a thing. More with Aftershock, honestly. That was back when she did the weird Aftershock build. In Season 11, I haven't personally returned to Rockabelle Lissandra build. I massively preferred laying down damage chains in teamfights instead. But it can definitely be good, especially if you need to use it to help facilitate more picks and dives, which is technically a really good way to beat blue team right now. Ashe, very low health, runs away. survives on a sliver of life. Lysandra will not kill the descendant of her sister. Not today. It does remind me that since both teams have a Freljord and Queen, if certain other conditions are met, the Battle for Freljord mini-quest can trigger. It has also been a very long time since I had Battle for Freljord trigger on me. Last time I saw it was about 3 years ago. They might have patched it out of the game and I wouldn't have known. Although if all the other hunt minigames are still in the game, I don't see why they patched that one out. This is the sister rivalry minigame here where you hunt each other is probably the most innocuous minigame. The other minigames kind of carry with them some sort of bonus. Like the Price Stalker fight where Kha'Zix can get a Force Evolution, where Rengar can get a fully stacked Bone Tooth. Or like better than a fully bone stacked Bone Tooth necklace, I think. There's also Sentinels of Light Don't Fear the Dark, where either Senna or Thresh can get permanent stat bonuses and permanent increase in souls. But this one is a lot more innocuous. I think like the winner literally just gets a crown. I don't think they get any combat bonuses or anything. Like they just get a neat crown effect on their head. Oh, Victor getting a lot up here. He is so very dead, so much CC. No cleanse in the world can get you out of that much trouble. As Lysandra, Leona, they all jump in, press their ultimates, lock him up nice and good, and they kill him off. But this game is very much in blue team's interest to scale, and Nivea becomes very strong in the late game, so does Mandate Ashe. Unfortunately, they're going up against the likes of Kai'Sa, which is a terrifying late game beast, but she is very prone to lockdowns, and blue team does have a ton of that. Kai'Sa jumps into the back, heroically kills off the Seraphine, and here comes the Lysandra teleportation. The Entomb is there! Oh, that was a missed call from the mid lane Victor, as Lysandra definitely still had the ice. But that is a very bad TP, as that just gives a triple kill over to the Kha'Zix, and that's going to get him on the board as a potent threat here. And that's really good, because right now, that's the way this game is progressing. Kha'Zix is actually blue team's only source of AD damage. And it is very much in blue team's best interest to get a very strong Kha'Zix to force red team to diversify their defensive options. Rockabout is complete on the Lysandra. She is going to be working on Hourglass next, picking up the stopwatch first. Lysandra is low-key a terrifying team fighter simply because she can give herself 5 seconds worth of stasis by self-ulting into Xayahs. And 5 seconds in league time is an actual eternity. 5 seconds in real life is an eternity if you just internalize how long that lasts. I mean, we live in the age of information where everything is given so fast. 5 seconds still doesn't sound like a lot to like our human minds, but I'm going to pause for 5 seconds. That was 5 seconds. That was so long. It's a long time, and like our brains process this a short duration, but it's really not. And Lysandra can just stay unhittable for the entire time. Seraphine easily nukes down her fellow bandmate. Kai'Sa falls to the floor, Leona is next to go, and Ashe finally gets a kill, puts herself on the board, and the last killless champion on blue team is Victor. The last killless champion on red team is Leona, but Leona is very happy if she walks away from the game without a kill. A ton more assists. And Nivea might get egged up here again. And this time, there's no hope for the scrambled egg. Rek'Sai didn't necessarily need to take that kill though. Might have been fine giving it to the cannon, especially with Dark Seal in cannon's inventory. It was probably in their best interest to let them take that kill. Regardless, Rek'Sai takes the kill away and Nivea loses the egg and her life. Not a very good start here for the Nivea rather. She's getting her last chapter, working very hard to make herself relevant. Bang with 13 instead of a B gets taken down, but Seraphine is next to fall. Lysandra arrives as reinforcement. Ashe is fully routed. She has to pop the blast gun and go out, but there is a wild Rek'Sai. There's a tunnel at the ready. The blue smite is there. The knockup is here, but that's the rest of the CC. It's not gonna be enough for Ashe to survive. Rek'Sai chomps her down, gets her 5th kill, and Victor tries to ambush Lysandra, but Lysandra quickly encases herself in ice, and she is fine and out of there. Just kidding. Anivia sends a ball of ice flying into her face and kills her off. Kennen is next to fight. Anivia tries to wall, but that is a terrible wall. It blocks absolutely nothing except the dragon, like the only other thing helping her in that engage. Blue team gets unofficially aced at the end of that. Every single blue team member dies during the entire thing. And red team, their survivors, mop up the Infernal Drake for themselves. The dragon count is 0-2 at 15 minutes in. Rek'Sai is now a potent threat, buying a ton of items. Dirk, 2 ruby crystals and a longsword. Kennen is up top. I used to pride myself on being able to be like, oh, you're building X or Y just based off their components, but since I've started playing more restrictedly, like restricting myself to just top lane as a role and playing only like 3 or 4 different champions all the time to try to master them, I'm a lot less attuned to knowing what components build into. Like right now, I'm just staring at Rek'Sai's inventory and drawing a blank. I have no idea what she's building. I can still name some items. Like I can look at Lysandra and be like, oh, that's easy, Hourglass. And I can look at, oh, alright, Leona's out of there. But I can look at Leona and be like, oh, that's easy, Sunfire. I can hope that's Sunfire's at least. But there are some others, like the Rek'Sai, like 2 ruby crystals, a longsword and a Dirk. What are you doing? I have no idea. Lysandra comes in, traps the Kha'Zix in ice and kills them off. If that thing can freeze a Watcher, that can sure as hell freeze a cockroach. But Lysandra might not be long for the world. She Zion's up, but she's under the Chaos Storm, and Victor gets the easiest kill of all time. He just sits on the side and watch, but here's a slicing maelstrom from the Kennen. He might not have a leisure time much longer. The Glacial Storm comes down, completely whiffs. The Glacial Shard does not get the stun either, or Ice Shard rather. The Kennen shot! Ooh, the turret did not kill him off. He's going to pop the Blast Cone over, so blue team can just examine how little health he walked away with. Except it was even less than that. And Kennen, the other major threat, getting really up there. Leona reconnects to the game. She's back to fight another day. Kennen is pushing up top. This tower might fall pretty soon. He's gonna use Lightning Rush for attack speed buffs. And that might be the... yeah, that's gonna be it. That's gonna be tower dead here. Top tower falls, Kennen takes it. He's a lot more ahead than the Anivia. Victor still doesn't have himself a kill yet. Oh, Kha'Zix, he's on the hunt for the Rek'Sai. Rek'Sai has rooted up. She gets the Unburrow, but that's the last thing she'll ever do. Victor finally gets himself on the board. As I say that he hasn't gotten the kill yet, he finds a kill. Anivia, once again, her egg probably, I think it just came back up and she's just gonna get egged again. Kennen goes on a rampage. Swinging so fast with that tiny shuriken, Anivia has no chance. Leona going in, try to control the ward, but there is the enchanted crystal arrow. It drops flat onto her face, and Leona, oh, she's not gonna be able to make it out. Trying to clear that pink ward has led to her death. Knight's Edge, that was the item from Rek'Sai. It was like, yeah, like it makes sense because the build items, the build path is still virtually the same. I was just drawing a blank at the item components, and I didn't want to call an item out and look stupid, but it was the one I was thinking, but nobody's gonna believe me. Kha'Zix completes the collector. And the collector is one of those things where I was like, you know, people build it, but I've never once built it, so I have no idea what the components of it are. I just know it involves a Dirk. And Anivia tries to wall it out, but it's not going to be enough. They're in point blank range, so they can just get the kill, even through an ice wall. And Kennen's so much more ahead. But despite being 6 kills and 1 tower up, red team isn't ahead in gold. Not by that much. You would expect them to be at least 2,000 or 3,000 ahead. Not by only this much. The arrow comes out yet again. They might show us why, but no, Kha'Zix get locked up in the cage. Lissandra claws in. She wants to make more happen. The throw. It's going to explode on the Ashe. It does explode on the Ashe. The volley goes wide, but the Victor gets the kill confirm. 1-for-2 trade. Advantage red team. But once again, this gold lead doesn't dent that much. Cloud Drake is next in line. Oh, with Mandate Ashe? Oh my gosh. If blue team gets a reverse Drake sweep and gets 4 clouds on Mandate Ashe, that's a real win condition. Cannon comes in for the flash slicing Maelstrom, but it's controlled by the Seraphine immediately. Ashe is going to volley kite and get away. High note into the middle of nowhere, which means Seraphine is the first to go here. Chance of Crystal Arrow is up, but it scores a field goal, hitting absolutely nothing. Rek'Sai tunnels over, gets the pick onto the Ashe. She's very low, and the Rek'Sai was the ultimate confirm, kills her off with the execution. Victor's in the middle of it all. He will not live long either. The rest of red team is collapsing in. The dive is there. Blue team cannot survive. There's no Anivia wall to preserve one of them in the field. It's 4 people alive against 2. This dragon seems like it goes the way of red team. And that kind of bums me out, because this is one of the few chances where I get to see Imperial Mandate Ashe with 4 Cloud Drakes. And oh, Kai'Sa is next to go. They haven't started on the Drake. They might not be able to. Anivia is next to go. But now the respawns are coming in for blue team. They're all coming back up. Lissandra gets her Ice Prison back, locks up the Kha'Zix for a second time. And the Kha'Zix gotta be cursing himself. Every time he's died because somebody froze him in a freezer. Anivia purchases a stopwatch. A cannon goes up top, and red team starts the Drake. This is going to be uncontested. Rek'Sai has arrived, which means that any chance for blue team to steal this is probably gone out the window, unless the Rek'Sai is an actual potato. Hawkshot comes in, Enchanted Crystal Arrow, and nails the Lissandra. Victor needs to follow up with some damage. There's Imperial Mandate Mark, but it's not going to be enough. The secure is not there. Rek'Sai gets the dragon. They put themselves on soul point. It's still in blue team's best interest to fight for Drakes. They, except for Anivia, all benefit from this Cloud Drake significantly. Anivia will benefit from the soul significantly, but I don't think blue team's getting the Dragon Soul this game. Cannon remains an omnipotent problem. He doesn't even have Zhonya's yet. He's gonna go ahead and finish Magi's to make himself even more ahead. And it's slicing Maelstrom damage. Remember, it ramps up over time. And he is just going to kill Victor. This is some of the easiest kills he's ever gotten, I'm sure. The damage is coming up, but he walks back into the Encore. The lockdown is there. Oh, he loses 10 pages of Magi's. But is that going to be enough? Ashe prematurely cleanses, which means the Glacial Prison is going to be more than enough to kill her off. Red team, they're going to win another fight. Anivia, poor Anivia, every time she gets the egg, she just chucks it out the window. And this does seem like a wash. Red team is very ahead. And blue team with essentially no frontline defenses, they're exposing themselves to a lot of the heavy dives here. Anivia is very behind. Cannon's dive is very strong. Lissandra can just make a fridge out of anybody who tries to contest her. That is almost a third one-shot. My goodness, that shows you just the discrepancy between game time and champion status. To have the Herald scale up like that to almost one-shot the Nexus turret with a charge. On the retreat, they catch the one Lissandra, but the Rek'Sai is still on side. They're preparing to recollapse, and there it is. But this might be a terrible mistake. Everybody has no health bars, and they all get taken down on the retreat. Kai'Sa walks away with almost no health. Cannon is next on the chopping block. He's in the bad part of town, and Kai'Sa offers himself as a sacrifice to the gods. Kai'Sa gets taken down by one clean slice to the face, and she is no more. Baron Asher is pinged out. They're going straight to the pit. Blue team, in their best interest, needs to secure this Baron. This is their one ticket back into the game. They need this to stabilize the game, buy themselves 7 more minutes. And honestly, 7 more minutes might be all they need. Despite literally everything that has happened, they are still not that behind in gold. It is a sheer miracle how they've managed to keep up, and with this, they've actually equalized team gold. It is an absolute miracle how they haven't lost the game yet. but they're not in the losing position. Unless the Lysandra just catches out the Ashe, the arrow goes completely wide, and that's a super dead Ashe. Press F to pay your respects. Kha'Zix going in for the isolation pick. Can he get it? Nope, the Zaya's hourglass is there. Anivia mistimes the ice shard and she will not get the kill. Anivia tries to, Leona tries to Zenith Blade into the air and that's not going to work. Lysandra claws out to try to get herself to safety. It's going to be a 1-for-1. 80 carry for support at the end of it all. Actually, while we have some downtime, I'm going to Google this. I'm gonna Google the Battle for Freljord quest. Like, what is the actual reward? There can only be one Freljordian leader per team that can do the quest. Having more than 2 means one will be chosen. Yeah. Champions involved must have a total of 20 takedowns. Huh. Seemingly random length of time after the following conditions are met. So Lysandra is 5 away from 20 takedowns and Ashe is 4 away. The permanent buff is called Queen of the Freljord, but unfortunately the wiki doesn't have any information on if it's... Yeah, the wiki unfortunately doesn't have any information if the Queen of the Freljord actually carries us with a stat buff of any sort. In my memories, I'm tempted to say no, it doesn't. So Cannon is going to die on the tail end after killing off the Anivia, but the Anivia's done nothing but die all game, so nobody really cares. Victor goes in for the kill. The Chaos Storm is landed onto the Leona. It's slowly chasing her down. They're still slowly winning this fight without the Kha'Zix, but Kha'Zix will lose the 1v2 on the side lane. Cloud Drake is spawning in 20 seconds and the jungler has just offered his life for the cause. Was it a hollow and empty cause? We shall see, but it seems like it's an uncontested soul. And with this soul, my soul has died. I can't believe you actually win on that. Me neither. You think the jungler will have more self-preservation than that? No choice? No, you have plenty of choice. What do you mean? If I clutch, we got Drake or we lose it. Or you die and you lose the soul. Yeah, that's... I don't agree with the logic of that, if there is any. I mean, you could just back off and wait for your team. Because if you die, red team starts the Drake for sure. But if you're there as a threat, they might drag their feet about it. Do you think saving Anivia is worth... Now that's... I agree with that, but for all the wrong reasons. Saving Anivia is not worth under any circumstances this game. She is total dead weight. Lysandra might be caught, but that is just a bait. Ashe is gonna get locked up, killed off instantly by the Lysandra. Just no hope for the queen. Honestly, if the event starts right now, it's pretty evident who's gonna win. Lysandra just has to call it and press 2 buttons and the Ashe is dead. Kha'Zix is going to be killed off in the retreat. Victor trying to make a kill happen, but there's the cannon with the instant engage. He's gonna flash in with the slicing maelstrom, and then it gets egged up. Oh my goodness. I feel like I've said that so many times this game, and this just gets more and more sad every single time. 28 minutes in. I like, they can win this. Like, the game's not over. They're not that far behind. They're still not that far behind. It's like, yeah, it's a miracle of life that they're not that far behind, but objective-wise and math-wise, with how much pressure they bled, you'd assume Red Team to be crushing it, but they're just not. They're barely making forward progress. They've been held at the gate time after time. Lysandra, once again, 3 kills away from being eligible for the quest, and Ashe is 2. We'll wait with bated breath, although I am sad that blue team was denied every Drake because I wanted to see 4 Cloud Drake Ashe Arrow. We'll have to wait for another day. Kha'Zix might get caught here again. No, he will leap away and be fine. Seraphine comes for the zoning rescue. Lysandra going to clear away even more of the vision. But honestly, now these plays matter. The big objective right now is going to be Baron up in 30. Red team's already started positioning near it. Blue team's left to wave clear in mid. The wave is not favoring blue team. They can't just clear. They can't just clear a wave and walk in. They've already started to lose vision. Red team has beat them to the punch, which means that they have command over the pit area, and now it's blue team's turn to slowly walk in. They do have Hawkshot to make it easier, but it's by no means something that they can safely do. Not against champions like Kennen, not against champions like Lysandra. That's the first good wall I've seen this game. It blocks the Rek'Sai's engage. But unfortunately, the payment for that really good wall is for Anivia to die for the 12th time this game. Lysandra comes in as self-ults, that's probably a misclick, but the Encore completely whiffs, it mistimes through the Zayas, the slicing maelstrom in the back, blue team is getting eviscerated. There's just no hope suddenly. Kha'Zix and Ashe, the last two living members, against 2 against 3. It is mandate, Ashe. She can give Kha'Zix such a huge damage buff by just continuously volleying. They're chasing the stragglers away. They may have won the fight with a one-man advantage, but they can't do much else other than kill the naked inhibitor. And honestly, at this point, Turling has become blue team's name of the game, so who cares, really? They're going back in for the re-engage, but Kennen eats an arrow to the face. Ashe immediately cleanses and gets help, but the CC, it's a little bit too severe. Kha'Zix jumps in, perhaps a millisecond too late. He's going to get one kill. The resets are coming out. He gets the leap. He gets a second one. Kha'Zix is dead as well. This turn for the Ashe was a legendarily bad mistake. But Kha'Zix, he might get soloed by the Leona. No, he is just fine. He gets that triple and flies away. Baron is alive. Elder's up in 1 minute. Despite how close this game has been, still even in gold. Oh my goodness. I need to dissect why this game is still so close. Where is this gold discrepancy coming from? Ah, jungle. Of course. Why they even second guess it? But top lane is so heavily. The discrepancy top is huge. 5,000 lead? Are you kidding me? There's 2 whole items. Like, bot lane's 2k ahead for blue. Jungle's 3k ahead for. So that makes up for all of the top lane deficit. And mid is more or less. Mid is basically even. Jesus Christ, that's a really even matchup. Ashe is like 200 ahead of the Kai'Sa. Yeah, blue team is somehow richer now. Top lane's a sandbag. But they're being made up for. Like the gold is unevenly distributed. Granted, Kennen is a massive problem. He sold off his Magi's because he's died a few times. It's no longer worth keeping it around. And Nivea's gonna help herself to blue. Just about the worst candidate for that right now. Literally everybody else could use that blue buff better. There's gonna be a very ill-advised teleport coming down from the Anivia. She teleports in, Science immediately, the egg is in place, but that is gonna be a bait. They finally found a good use for the omelet, and that's to use it to feed the enemies. Ashe is gonna flash in for one more volley, it will not connect. The Kha'Zix also voice spikes, it doesn't hit, and this is suddenly their Elder secure. Oh, red team has suddenly realized they're not as ahead as they thought they were. And that's gonna be a full ace. They only lose the Anivia, so literally nothing of value was lost. Blue team secures the Elder. I can't believe Anivia's made such boneheaded plays and literally getting straight carried. Now Ashe is eligible for the event. So is the Lysandra. Now after a random unspecified in-game time, they're now eligible for the Battle of Frontline. And I'm waiting for it to happen because it's genuinely been years since I saw it. And I want it to happen this game. Seraphine gets right ice. Victor clears the waves and goes back, and the Anivia is still perpetually useless. 34 minutes into the game. Still an almost dead even state, except blue team is now decisively ahead somehow. And the weirdest part about this is they still can lose with Elder, with Baron, because there's such a huge discrepancy in map structures that this Elder and this Baron is not gonna last you through to the victory. Arrow goes wide. They could probably force a fight here. They have the Elder. Lissandra self-ults. Anivia is first to die because of course she loses that slap fight. Why does she even try? And that's one body down, but really it's like nobody died. And the first Elder Breath comes out. Lissandra suddenly remembers that, oh right, they took Elder. That fight might not have been such a good idea. The Hawkshot discovers the Rek'Sai. Oh, she's been made out. The flank has failed. The rest of the blue team is pushing. They zone out the Rek'Sai. Rek'Sai has to go back. Arrow lands on the back. Flash in with the laser. The Chaos Storm is eviscerating everything. Everybody's dead. Oh, everybody is dead. The Elder Burn. It might be enough to kill the Rek'Sai. Is it enough? No, it's not. She's still recalling. But Kha'Zix is on hot pursuit. One more wave spike. That's gonna be enough. There's the ace. Oh, blue team got the ace. This is the end of the game. They just won. And Nivea stays dead the whole time. That was easy. It was easy. They fought it. Well, they didn't fight, but they got picked into the Elder. And just like that, blue team, they made it happen. They won the game.